Okay, so hello everybody. Today we are going to be doing the part 2 to the mouse review I did a while ago. I really kind of felt like this did need a follow-up, kind of how I feel about the mouse after a month or so of use. So here we go. I wanted to start off on a more positive note, so I'm gonna do the good stuff first, and then we'll get into some of the negatives. But overall, I just want to say using this mouse has been a very good experience so far. I should also mention that the mouse in question is the G502 Hero from Logitech. So, the first thing that I actually wanted to cover is how nice this thing feels. There's actually like a little container of weights that comes in the package when you buy the mouse. I believe they're all 3 or 13.5 pound weights. Pound, Jesus, man. Gram weights. And it's just enough to where if you feel like the mouse needs to be a little heavier, I think I popped one or two in mine. Or if you feel like it's light enough already, you don't need to change it at all. But I just thought that was a nice touch. Also, this thing's not dirty at all. Like, it does not look like it is smudged at all. I haven't exactly been eating food over at, my recording station, computer, anything like that. But just, general finger grease, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on there, which is, very nice to see. LEDs, still functioning properly. All that good stuff seems to work fine. I should also mention that I liked how there was all these different profiles for each game you wanted to play on the G Hub like software. That was nice to see in case I wanted different settings in each game, but that does become a little bit of a problem later, as I'll mention. So, without further ado, I'm sure what everybody was actually waiting for was the negative stuff, so let's get into that. So the first issue I had was there are two settings on the scroll wheel. Either very, very, very tactile and clicky, or it just kind of spins like a fidget spinner. Now, don't get me wrong, it's great to have this thing be customizable and have the scroll wheel on two different settings. The problem is, I find myself wanting something in between the two. I found the tactile setting to be a little bit too tactile to the point where when I was like trying to scroll quickly through anything, I almost felt like I was going to damage the scroll wheel somehow. And then, with just the free spinning mode where you can just flick it once and it'll spin for like 30 seconds straight. I don't know. That just wasn't entirely for me because once again, I'd find myself scrolling and I'd, scroll too far or I'd stop short because I didn't let myself scroll enough. It just kind of felt like it would have been nice to have a third mode that was, a little bit less tactile, but, not quite as just, free moving. As I mentioned earlier, I really do like all the different profiles on G Hub. I feel like that's a great feature to have. You can have your sensitivity be different in every game. If you want low sense on CS:GO, you can have that. If you want higher sense on like, TF2 or something like that, you can have that. The problem I found was it always defaults back to the original G Hub settings every time you download and then launch a new game. Meaning your sensitivity, unless you like playing with the basic settings, is going to be weird. Also, the lighting changes, but honestly, I don't think that's a big deal for anybody. But, it is just another annoying thing that kind of happens. So, I don't know. I wish there was a way to change the default so that whenever I, started up a new game, it would automatically set the settings to that rather than, just the basic Logitech ones. If there is already a way to do this, I apologize. I have looked into it a little bit, but perhaps not thoroughly enough. So feel free to leave it in the comments if I am wrong. So on screen right now, you'll see a side view picture of the mouse. Now, you might not notice anything out of the ordinary here, but look at that thing. I don't know what this is. Actually, that's not entirely right. You can see that maybe not in this picture. It appears to be meant as like a scope button. I have never used this thing for a scope and probably never will. Like right click is ingrained in my muscle memory and I'm sure I could unlearn that, but why would I? I don't know. It makes more sense to right click for me and this thing just gets in the way. I don't know why it's here. It's very big, and the way the mouse is built, your thumb just kind of automatically rests on it. So I found myself actually moving my hand back to the point where I don't really have my palm fully on where your palm should be on the mouse. Which is not like the biggest deal ever. It's not like I have arthritis or something like that and I need my palm to rest on the back of the mouse. But, it is one of those things where that would be nice, and the stupid trigger button, or whatever the hell it is, gets in the way. And then, my one final gripe with this thing is that the sensitivity buttons are just way too close to the left click. That's where the sensitivity changes. That is right next to your left click. That's just not a good spot for it to be. I'm sorry. I don't care what the mouse is. That's just not a good place for the sensitivity changer to be. But honestly, those are really the only gripes I have with this thing. Overall, good product. I've been enjoying using it. I would definitely recommend. And that's honestly all there really is for this episode. Overall, good experience so far. Like and subscribe. I don't know. Christmas is coming. Maybe there's more tech reviews. Who knows? But yeah, just like and subscribe, and Hazmat out.